Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of corporate filings. Today we're diving into the Lantheus Holdings proxy statement. You know, that document nobody actually reads, but don't worry, we'll extract the good parts for you, and maybe we'll even find out how much the CEO's dog walker makes. This document outlines key things for shareholders, like who's up for election to the board, how much the executives get paid, and a proposal to declassify the board. That's a fancy way of saying they might change how often directors are elected. Lantheus is really proud of helping over 7 million patients in 2024. They're in the business of radiopharmaceuticals, which means they use radioactive drugs to find, fight, and follow diseases, especially cancer and heart problems. They've got a blockbuster drug called Pylarify for prostate cancer imaging that made over $1 billion in sales. The CEO, Brian Markison, says 2024 was a record-breaking year. Besides the Pylarify success, another drug, Demikit, also did well. The company is investing in Alzheimer's disease diagnostics, acquiring companies to expand its reach. They're expecting double-digit revenue growth to keep going, so things are looking good, at least according to the CEO. They're making deals, buying companies, and getting licenses for new drugs. They want to be a leader in radiopharmaceuticals, especially for Alzheimer's and cancer. They're even making sure their suppliers are environmentally responsible and provide a safe workplace. So at the meeting, shareholders get to vote on a few things, electing directors, giving a thumbs up or down to executive pay, and deciding whether to classify the board. The board is recommending you vote for their director picks and for approving executive pay, but they're staying neutral on the declassification thing. This is a pretty standard proxy statement table of contents, detailing corporate governance, executive pay, and the shareholder proposal. Let's jump into what matters. Here's the gist of what shareholders are voting on. 4 directors up for election, an advisory vote on executive compensation, ratifying the accounting firm, and a shareholder proposal to declassify the board, making all directors stand for election every year. The board recommends voting for their director nominees and for the executive compensation and accounting firm ratification. The board is divided into 3 classes, with directors serving 3-year terms. This arrangement affects how often directors are up for election, and some shareholders think it's not the best way to keep directors accountable. Out of 11 board members, 9 are considered independent. That means they don't have any major ties to the company that could cloud their judgment, except for the CEO and the former CEO, who is now the chair. The board does self-evaluations to make sure they're doing a good job. For example, they brought in new directors with finance and biotech experience. They wanted to make sure the board has the right skills to guide the company. The company talks a lot about its values, like passion, respect, and customer focus. They're also trying to be more sustainable and responsible, focusing on environmental impact, safety, and community involvement. Lantheus is tracking its energy use, water consumption, waste, and greenhouse gas emissions. They've got some charts showing how those numbers have changed over the last few years, but it's tough to make direct comparisons because they keep getting better at collecting data and adding more locations to the mix. They're proud of their safety record with a low rate of workplace incidents. They're also working to create a more inclusive and ethical company culture with employee resource groups and mandatory ethics training. Time for the candidates. Marianne Heino, Hino's CEO, she knows the company inside and out. Then there's Dr. Gerard Burb with tons of experience in radiopharmaceuticals. Also Julie Eastland, who is a financial guru with biotech experience. And finally Samuel Leno with financial expertise and a long history in healthcare. Non-employee directors get paid in cash and stock. The chair of the board gets more than the other members, and committee chairs get extra too. Here's the breakdown of what the directors actually got paid last year. Samuel Leno and Gary Pruden made the most, around $494,000. The others made between $284,000 and $483,000. Most of it was in the form of stock awards and options. This table shows who owns a lot of stock in Lantheus. BlackRock, Vanguard, and Janus Henderson Group are the big guys, but the executives and directors together only own a small percentage. The company has rules about insider trading, hedging, and pledging stock. This ensures that the executives don't use their knowledge to make a quick buck and are aligned with the company's long-term interests. You can vote on whether you think the executives are getting paid fairly. It's just an advisory vote, so it's not binding, but the board will listen to what shareholders say. The executive compensation program is all about attracting good people, rewarding performance, and aligning the executives' interests with those of the shareholders. They tweaked the bonus plan a little bit, adjusting the targets for revenue and earnings per share. The CEO's base salary was $950,000 and the other executives got raises too. Most of them ended up getting bonuses above their target amount, which is a reflection of the company doing really well. The executives get a mix of performance-based stock units, restricted stock units, and stock options. Most of the pay is tied to the company's long-term stock performance. The people on the compensation committee think they're doing a good job aligning pay with performance, and they're recommending you vote to approve it. Alright, let's break down what the big dogs earned in 2024. Ackland, Brian Markison, the CEO, raked in a total of $13.4 million. A substantial amount was from stock awards. It definitely pays to be the boss. Axid, Mary Ann Hino, the former CEO, got $787,590, landed in the $5.3 million and $5.4 million. Named executive officers, Marshall and Blanchfield, landed in the $5.3 million. Named executive officers, Marshall and Blanchfield, landed in the $5.3 million. Rangy dollars, mostly from stock awards. Active looking at the other named executive officers, Marshall and Blanchfield, landed in the $5.3 million and the $5.3 million in the $5.3 million and $5.4 million range respectively, and NeedsWiki landed at around $4.3 million the other. Named executive officers Marshall and Blanchfield landed in the $5.3 million and $5.4 million range 3 million did. This looks like a 401k or similarly managed account for the executives to grow their retirement funds. Two of them elected to defer a portion of their salary, resulting in them having an account with 120k and 120k respectively. Nothing special here. These guys have a strong handle on preventing risk and illegal practices. Very good. Now, let's talk about the accounting firm Deloitte. In 2024, they were paid $198 million. Most of it was for the audit standard stuff. The audit committee, which oversees the accounting, says everything's on the up and up. They're recommending you ratify Deloitte as the accounting firm. Finally, there's a shareholder proposal about declassifying the board. The board's not taking a position on it, so it's up to you to decide. So after wading through this proxy statement, what's the take? Lantheus seems to be doing pretty well financially, especially with its cancer imaging drug, Pylarify. They're expanding into new areas like Alzheimer's and are focused on long-term growth. On the flip side, the 3-year board terms might make directors less responsive to shareholders. That said, the board has a fairly strong grasp on risk as well as legal practices. Overall, Lantheus is steering in a direction that favours more profit. If their Alzheimer's acquisitions work out, that would be the company's main strength in the upcoming years. Thanks for tuning in to Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. Until next time.